Mileena and Kitana, two of the most iconic female characters in Mortal Kombat, and probably having one of the most iconic rivalries in Mortal Kombat alongside Scorpion and Sub-Zero. These are two characters that kind of represent the different sides of the same coin, and these are also two characters that have such a really interesting dynamic, and Mileena and Kitana's relationship really isn't all black and white. I'm Regiman, and in this video we're going to be discussing the complex relationship between Mileena and Kitana.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
So for a little bit of lore and background, Kitana and Mileena, at least in the original timeline, are not biological twin sisters. Mileena is actually a clone of Kitana made by Shang Tsung by using Kitana's DNA mixed with Tarkatan DNA, and the Tarkatans being Baraka's people. And because Mileena is a clone of Kitana, Kitana very much so kind of resents Mileena because of that, and actually doesn't want anything to do with Mileena. Like, Kitana quite literally despises Mileena because of the fact that she's a clone. And Kitana always sees Mileena as like a monster. And on Mileena's point of view, Mileena kind of envies Kitana because Kitana has things and qualities that Mileena doesn't have. Mileena also doesn't like Kitana because of the fact that Kitana rebelled against Shao Kahn, which Mileena also thought it was unfortunate because Mileena also wants to be seen as Kitana's true sister. And their dynamic is even more interesting once you realize that they're really two opposite people entirely. Kitana being very much like poised and graceful and has a lot of elegance to her, while Mileena is very fierce and kind of rough around the edges, and definitely a lot more aggressive than Kitana also. And going back to Mileena kind of being jealous of Kitana, Mileena is very much so jealous of Kitana also because Kitana receives love from a lot of people, whether it be romantic love from Liu Kang, or how Kitana is loved by lots of people in the Mortal Kombat universe. That's something Mileena definitely wants for herself. Because really, all Mileena really wants is to be accepted by other people the way people accept Kitana. In Mileena's character ending in Mortal Kombat 11, Mileena actually ends up being with Tanya. They both end up having a daughter together. Mileena actually talks about how everyone else sees her as this monstrosity, but in her daughter's eyes, she's not a monster at all. She even says in her daughter's eyes that Mileena is perfection, and that's all Mileena really wants, is to be accepted by someone. And it's also kind of where that resentment for Kitana comes in, because Mileena can't even get that acceptance from someone who she wants to consider a sister. Now, moving on to Mortal Kombat 1. Mortal Kombat 1 is basically the new rebooted timeline for the Mortal Kombat canon. And in this new timeline that was made by Fire God Liu Kang, he made like a lot of changes with a lot of characters. Some of the changes I'm not the biggest fan of. Kuai Liang being Scorpion instead of Hanzo Hasashi. But one of my favorite changes was the new dynamic between Kitana and Mileena. In this new timeline, Kitana and Mileena are actual biological twin sisters, both being the true daughters of Sindel. And you can very much see in this new timeline that Kitana and Mileena very much so do care for each other. Kitana's actually accepting Mileena as her sister, and Kitana honestly wants what's best for Mileena. And as for Mileena's end, she very much so does love and care for Kitana, but there's still a little bit of jealousy there. So for context, in this new timeline, Mileena and Kitana are actual twin sisters. However, Mileena is the one who popped out first, which makes Mileena next in line for the throne after Sindel. But people of Outworld really would like to see Kitana take the throne instead of Mileena, because the people of Outworld think Mileena is too unhinged to become the queen of Outworld. People of Outworld think Kitana will make a better queen than Mileena. And it kind of sucks because even Sindel thinks that Kitana should take Mileena's place as queen sometimes. Like, there's literally a whole intro dialogue with Sindel and Kitana where Sindel is saying she wishes Kitana was born first so she could become a queen.
There are times I wish that you were born first.
Never let Mileena hear you say that.
And Sindel starts to think this even more because of Mileena getting the Tarkat disease. And in this new timeline, the Tarkatans don't really exist. It's more so like a disease that you get. The Tarkat disease is how Mileena gets her teeth. I love their dynamic in Mortal Kombat 1 because it's such an improvement compared to previous timelines and previous Mortal Kombats. And as someone who's a big fan of both Kitana and Mileena's character, I really like to see that Mileena is getting what she always wanted, which was some type of like, sisterly bond with Kitana in this new timeline. Throughout the game of Mortal Kombat 1, you can very much see that Kitana is very protective of Mileena. Very much so hope this new dynamic that they gave Kitana and Mileena in the new timeline is very consistent throughout the rest of the series. And even if they were to reboot again, I do want their sisterly dynamic to be something that stays in the franchise. Because I feel like most casual fans don't really see that Kitana and Mileena's dynamic is a lot more complex than it really is. And even in the previous timeline, Kitana actually has a more close sisterly bond with Jade compared to Mileena. And Mileena is kind of jealous of Jade because Jade and Kitana kind of share that sisterly bond that Mileena wishes that she had with Kitana herself. And for that reason, Mileena kind of felt denied. But that's going to be it for today's video, you guys. I hope you all enjoyed me talking about the complex dynamic between Mileena and Kitana in the Mortal Kombat franchise. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. Deuces!